friends, welcome. Thanks for trying this out with me. So this is my first filmed yoga video and I'm really excited to share this practice with you. It's been incredibly transformative for me in my life and my relationship with the way that I show up in the world, and I am so excited to be able to provide this for my clients and dear friends that are following along with me. So today we will explore a practice of curiosity. If you haven't had the chance to look at or to participate in the meditation about curiosity in the guided meditations section of the homepage, I hope that you will. This is just that plus movement. So this is an invitation for self-inquiry and diving deeper into our own experience through movement so that we can respond to our body with a non-judgmental assessment. If you don't have a couple of blocks, no worries. Do try and grab a few books or boxes that might work for you. I tend to think that it deepens my practice when I have the ability to modify. Also grab a blanket. We're going to be on our knees just a little bit, and if you have tender knees, a blanket does make this a little bit more accessible. We will also be working with a mudra. That's a hand position that is said to cultivate a certain quality. Today's mudra is Sakshi Mudra, and the way that we'll find that is placing our palms together, but allowing the center of our palms to release away from one another, just keeping our fingertips, all 5 fingertips, or I guess 10 fingertips connected, and the base of our palms connected. And when you're here, we'll tuck our thumbs in toward the center of our palms like that, placing it at heart center. Sakshi Mudra is said to encourage self-study and spaciousness, so it's perfect for a practice of curiosity. Closing down the eyes and welcoming a deepening breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Staying curious to your experience as you take another deep breath in through your nose and an audible exhale out your mouth. A few times on your own, in through the nose and out through your mouth. Slowly blinking our eyes open, and I will meet you on your stomach, face down. When we arrive on our stomach, we really do give ourselves the ability to breathe deeper into our back body for a different experience than we might be used to. So stay here for a few breaths as you inhale more completely into the back side of your lungs, the lungs along your back body. And when you're ready, bring your right knee up toward your right elbow, keeping your elbows cactused like a field goal, and flexing your right foot, noticing a gentle stretch in your inner right thigh. This pose is called Hug the Earth pose, and I think it's just beautifully demonstrative of the experience. We're just hugging the earth. Scanning from the top of your head down through your shoulders. See if you can release some tension here. I notice that I'm holding a little bit on as I'm gripping the earth, and
it's not really the quality that we're looking to embody right now. So if your shoulders are tense like mine, ask them to release. One more round of breath here, breathing into your back body. And when you're ready, release your right knee around, actually, extend your left arm, rolling over your left shoulder, releasing your right foot to rest behind your left leg. This gives you an opening across the left side of your chest. You can find your cheek to rest on the mat, or if a block is available and that might feel good to you, feel free to rest the side of your head on a block. We're also hunched over at our desks or on Zoom calls all day, so this stretch allows us to reverse all of that hunching that we are so prone to do in our world and our lives. A few more deep and unhurried breaths here. And gently rolling back onto your belly, allowing your hips to settle, maybe rocking them gently back and forth to release your low back. I often have some low back stuff, so I'll always be offering a modification for any low back tweakiness. So with our cheek to the other side of the mat now, left cheek to the ground, bring your left knee up toward your left elbow. Hug the earth on the other side. What can you invite to release and relax on this side? One more round of breath here. And when you're ready, extending your right arm out long and pressing your left foot behind your right glute, behind your right thigh. You can get a view for what it might look like from the back, stretching through that right chest, right shoulder, releasing any tension that you might be holding on to. This pose is called wishbone, and I have no idea why. One more round of breath here. And on your exhale, rolling back over onto your stomach. Breathing deeply into your back body once more. Staying curious about this experience. Has anything changed at all since the last time you were here? And when you're ready, placing your hands underneath your shoulders and shifting back into child's pose. I like a wide-kneed child pose so that I can really sink my hips back to my heels and allow my chest to drape in between my knees and my forehead to rest on the ground. If this one isn't as accessible because of any tenderness in your knees, feel free to keep your hips up a little bit more. You don't have to go all the way down. I guess Ella's moving. That's all right. She'll settle. Continuing to breathe deeply into all parts of your lungs right now. Two more rounds of breath, unhurried. And when you're ready, lift your chest up and keeping your legs more parallel. Goodness. Walk your fingertips out so that you can drape your chest forward. This one's called puppy pose. Some people find that they want their forehead to rest on the ground. Feel a little bit more spaciousness in your chest. Maybe you rest your chin on the ground. This one really lets your armpits breathe. And, you know, we don't let our armpits breathe nearly enough. One more round of breath. And crawling forward, finding tabletop, hands below your shoulders and knees below your hips, coming into all fours. Exploring a few rounds of cat-cow here. Pressing through your hands to dome your back, cat. Inhaling and releasing your chest down to the floor, cow. Tucking your tailbone and doming through your shoulders, cat. Heart shining through the frame of your shoulders, hips releasing back, cow. Exploring a few organic cat-cows on your own. Really find some space to be curious about what this feels like in your spine, in your body, anything that feels good. Just some self-inquiry. What's this feel like? What does that feel like? Ooh, well, some pops and cracks. All right, and settling in to find a neutral spine here. I might grab the blanket. This is the part where we'll be on our knees a little bit more. Yeah, that looks good. So resting your knees on the blanket, hands below your shoulders, kicking through your right heel to come up and finding some generous hip circles, one direction and then the next. Releasing through your hips. Oh, our hips get so tight if we're sitting all day, and we're all kind of sitting all day these days. So finding some mobility in our hips is really important. It helps with our spine, with our low back, just sort of helps with everything. So really finding some juicy movement here. Staying curious about your experience. How does this feel? Yeah. And stepping through both feet. Your right foot comes forward, finding a low lunge, sweeping your arms up. Tucking your tailbone just a bit really does start to turn on your left side body, left psoas. Inhaling here, and whoop, finding a little bit of wobbliness, I suppose. Inhale and exhale, deepen a little further, deepening that stretch through that left hip. A few more rounds of breath.
And if that's too much on the left hip, feel free to back out a little bit. I'm noticing it's sort of tweaking my back a little bit, so I'm gonna modify just a little bit. One more deep breath in. And releasing your hands to frame that right foot, shifting your hips back, flexing through your foot. This would be a great time to find blocks. I really love exploring this one with blocks. So I don't feel quite as hunched over in my back, but I can really find some length through my spine. Keeping that right foot flexed. Where do you notice this? I'm really sensing it through my right hamstring. Taking a deep breath in, grow long through the spine, and exhale folds you forward over that extended hip. Over that extended leg. One more inhale to lengthen, and exhale to fold. Placing your blocks outside of the frame of the mat. We'll deeply bend into that right knee and shift the left foot toward the right, opening up. You'll get my backside first. Opening up, finding extension through your arms, north and south. We call this warrior two arms. It's a grounded warrior two variation. Breathing in and exhaling as you bend a little deeper. Find a little bit more juiciness through your right hip, your right inner thigh as you deepen through that right knee. Inhale presses you back up. Exhale deepens you even further. Releasing your hands up above the crown of your head and dropping your left hand down long through your right foot, extending your right hand up and then over toward the back edge of your mat, finding a lot of length through that right side body here. Breathing in to lengthen even further, and exhale to soften. One more round of breath, inhale, and exhale. And when you're ready, press back up into that grounded warrior two variation, continuing to find length through the arms north and south, and releasing down to the upper left-hand corner of your mat. Shining your heart forward, down dog energy through your chest, pressing your chest down to the ground just very gently. And finding some deepening with some stretching through the inner and outer right hips here. How is this experience for you? What can you be curious about in this position? One more round of breath. And crawling your hands to frame that right foot, extending your left foot back toward the back edge of your mat. Pressing through your hands, releasing your right knee to meet your left. A few personalized cat-cows here to reset the spine. And when you're ready, flexing through that left heel, pressing it back and up so that we can find those same hip rotations. Opening up through the left hip this time. Staying curious. Inviting some self-inquiry. Maybe you find a little bit of cat-cow action in your spine as well. And when you're ready, step that left foot in between both palms, finding groundedness and stability through your left foot and your right knee, sweeping the arms up. Long through your side bodies, arms shooting up. There's an upward energy here. Inhaling and exhaling to deepen a little further. Remembering to keep that neutral to slightly tucked orientation in your pelvis here so that you don't just dump into your inner back like I'm prone to doing. Releasing everything that you've got holding on to on that right side. Releasing your right hip and thigh. One more round of breath. Lengthening and exhaling to deepen even further. Framing the left foot and shifting your hips back, flexing through your left toes this time, grabbing those blocks if it might feel good to you, or if you did it on the other side. This pose is called half splits. Really noticing the sensation along your left hamstring. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale to fold forward. Once more, inhale to lengthen. Exhale to release. Returning those blocks to the top of your mat, bending through your left knee once more. Spinning your right foot toward the left side of your mat and cartwheeling your hands open toward the north and south edges of your mat. Finding stability through this grounded warrior two. I'm already noticing just the gentlest sensation through my left inner thigh. Inhale and exhale, sink a little bit lower, deepening into that stretch. Just staying curious about your experience. Inhale presses you back up. Exhale to deepen a little further. Sweeping your hands up, long through the side body and releasing your right hand down toward the back edge of your mat, lengthening through your left foot here, long through your left side body as your left hand shoots toward the back edge of your mat for a grounded, what's this one called? Side plank, a grounded side plank. Getting to activate those core muscles while finding length through your side body. I love this one. Inhale, shining your heart forward, and exhale. Pressing back up into your grounded warrior two, right, left toes point toward the north edge of your mat. Arms come north and south. And when you're ready, release your hands toward the right upper corner of the mat. I like to tent my fingers here. Feels like it creates a little bit more length and space through the undersides of my arms, but still maintaining some broadness in my chest. A few more rounds of breath here. And when you're ready, crawl your hands to frame your left foot, spinning your right foot back down, planting through your feet, releasing that left knee to meet your right. A few rounds of cat-cow here, if that might feel good. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this blanket from underneath my knees, placing it at the top of my mat. And when you're ready, tuck your toes and lift your knees up off the mat, just an inch or so to begin to activate your core. And when on your next exhale, press your hips up and back, finding downward facing dog. Pedaling out one foot and then the next. Pressing your chest back toward your thighs to find some spaciousness across your chest still, keeping a generous bend in your knees.
I won't ever get my feet or my heels to release all the way down to the mat, and that is okay. Hips pressing up toward the sky, keeping that generous bend in your knees. Look forward between your palms and slowly step one foot and then the next toward the top of your mat. Feet about two fists distance apart. That's about the distance of your hips. So keep your feet below your hips, continuing to find that generous bend in your knees so that your torso and chest can drape over your thighs, releasing here in forward fold. Grabbing hold of both elbows here. The deeper you bend your knees, notice what that does to your spine. I know that when I take an extra generous bend in my knees, I really get the experience of releasing down my back body. And when I lengthen through my legs, that changes the experience along my torso and spine as well. So on your next exhale, releasing your palms down. If they don't meet the mat, that's okay too. Inhale, place your palms along your shins, knees, or thighs so that you can find some length in your back. Flat back, halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up, grounding down through your feet, long through your side body. Upward salute. Inhale, pull that Sakshi Mudra through to heart center. Again, fingertips all gently pressing against one another. Thumbs tucked toward your center of your palms here. Reminding yourself of the intention of your practice to cultivate a sense of self-inquiry, spaciousness, and curiosity. Settling your breath. On your next inhale, arms release and sweep all the way up, upward salute. Exhale, drape your torso forward, swan dive, finding a forward fold, releasing your chest toward your thighs. Inhale, halfway lift, finding a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Grounding down through your feet as your arms sweep up once more. Inhale. Exhale. We'll sink our hips back to find chair pose, making sure to keep our knees behind our toes so that we don't track over too much, but our knees are behind our toes, hips sink back, long through the spine. Arms can reach up. You can also pull that same mudra through to heart center once more. If you find that your knees tend to knock in, this might be a great opportunity to keep your feet pressed up against one another so that you don't tweak your knees in any way, and you can sink a little bit lower into that chair pose. One round of breath, turning your quads on. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale finds a flat back. Exhale, release. Planting your hands and stepping one foot back and then the next. High plank. Turning on our core. Actively engaged, pressing down through your hands. Really make this an active pose so that you can dome your back and press into that shoulder girdle. One round of breath. Exhale, lower your knees gently to the floor, keeping that same length through your spine, but your knees are grounded this time. And releasing your shoulders back toward the back of your mat while you allow your chest to meet the ground and slowly release all the way down to the ground. Keeping your hands below your shoulders, loop your shoulders up, back, and down your spine, pressing gently into your hands as you can
Lift and shine your heart forward. Inhale. Baby cobra. Exhale, release. Shifting your hips up and back. We'll meet in child's pose. Settling your breath. On your next inhale, shift forward into all fours, tabletop. Tucking your toes, pressing through your hands, lifting your hips up and back, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, grounding through your left foot as your right leg shoots back toward the upper corner of the room. Three-legged dog. Inhale, pull your knee to your nose and round through your back. Inhale, shoots your right foot back and up. Exhale, pull your knee to nose. Once more, three-legged dog. And on your inhale, pull your knee through your chest, releasing your right foot down to the ground. Low runner's lunge. Without dumping all the way into our thigh here, we really have enough stability that we could even release our hands behind us or come to heart center. Just make sure that you're light on your hands here. On your next inhale, shifting forward, fun half splits. Left leg comes to the sky, keeping your hips and pelvis neutral here, not opening up, right? This is basically a forward fold on one leg. Inhaling here. Exhale, releases your left foot behind your right to find a curtsy, winging your arms back behind you. Inhale, step your left foot to meet your right, upward salute. Exhale, pulling that mudra through to heart center. Created a little bit of heat, so what does that do to your curiosity? Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, pull that chair plus mudra down through your heart center. One round of breath here. And on your exhale, fold forward. Inhale finds a flat back. Exhale, release. Planting your hands, stepping one foot back and then the next. We'll begin high plank for just a few seconds. Really turning on our core. Exhale, release knees and lower chest and chin. Looping your shoulders up and back down your spine. Shining your heart forward, baby cobra. Inhale, exhale, release. Pressing through your hands, shift your hips back. Child's pose for one round of breath. Inhale, shift forward to tabletop. Tucking your toes, pressing through your hands to lift your hips up and back. Our last down dog of the day. Pressing through your right foot as your left foot comes back and up, three-legged dog. Inhale, exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, kick it back up. Exhale, knee to nose, pressing through your hands so you can dome the spine. That creates more room to step your foot forward. Once more, three-legged dog. Inhale, knee to nose, step your left foot forward, low runner's lunge. That same energy of groundedness through both feet with long spine here. One round of breath. And as you tip forward, find a standing splits. Same levelness through your hips, through your pelvis. Inhale. Exhale, curtsy your right knee behind your left, winging through your arms. Broad and bright in your chest. Inhale finds upward salute. Arms reach upward. Inhale. Exhale. Pull Sakshi Mudra through to heart center. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, chair. Once again, if you find that your knees are knocking forward, make sure to keep your feet directly below your knees, and so that might mean bringing your feet to meet one another. One round of breath. And on your exhale, fold forward, forward fold here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Planting your hands, step back, meeting in high plank for just 1 second before you release your knees and sit back onto your heels here. Whew. Worked up a little heat. Shifting onto one hip so that you can swing your feet forward. Pulling that fleshy mound from your hip bones out of the way so that you can really find a more neutral stack along your spine. You know, if you find that your hamstrings are tight, like I do, because we are such sitters, a blanket might really be nice so that you can tilt your pelvis ever so slightly forward, sweeping your arms up alongside your ears. I keep a generous bend in my knees. It really does help my spine to lengthen rather than to hunch over. So keeping a generous bend in your knees, arms sweep up, exhale, release into a seated forward fold. Three more rounds of breath here. Ask your body what you want to release. And then release it. On your next inhale, arms reach up, shoulders framing your ears. Exhale, arms release by your side. I'll meet you on our backs. Slowly lowering vertebrae by vertebrae. Allowing your back to fully release to the ground, keeping your knees bent. Taking your feet toward the edges of your mat so that your knees can knock inward. I love this for my low back. Settling our breath. And when you're ready, planting through your right foot, left ankle comes to right knee, figure four. Pulling your right knee gently toward your chest, but keeping your back flat on the ground. If that means that you don't bring your knee to chest at all, that is okay. If you do have a little bit of spaciousness, feel free to bring your right knee toward your chest, keeping your left foot flexed, and an energy of your left knee moving away from your torso. Gentle left hip opener. One more round of breath. Releasing your right foot down and allowing this sort of knee pocket to release toward your right side, keeping your left arm out long. Gentle twist here. If you have space, feel free to let that left knee release even further toward the right side of your mat, opening this toward deepening this twist even further. Bringing your knees back through center, releasing both feet down to the ground. Maybe you windshield wiper your knees one direction and then the next. Yeah, beautiful. Releasing that low back. I'm in a low back mood. Knees come toward the center of your mat, pressing through your left foot as your right knee comes to left knee, energetically tractioning your right knee toward that's the front of your mat, but away from your torso as you, if it's in your practice, bringing your left knee up towards your torso, keeping both feet flexed, but definitely keeping your right foot flexed. Low back, flat on the ground. Don't want to see anything like this. That's not going to do anything, and besides probably injure you. So making sure that your back is flat on the ground. Tuning into your breath as we really settle into the end of our practice. Staying curious about what's shifted for you. Releasing your left foot down to the ground and allowing your knees and feet to release toward the left side of your mat. Right arm, right hand comes out long. Maybe gazing toward your right fingertips to deepen into this twist even further. Beginning to soften down your eyes. Preparing to integrate. Knees come back up through center, releasing both feet down to the mat. Once more, washing your knees right and left if that feels good to you. And when you're ready, hugging your knees in toward your chest toward your knees. Give yourself a really big hug. Oh, tighten everything up so that the release feels even better. And when you're ready, release all the way down, finding Shavasana. Releasing. Arms come out wide. Feet toward corners of your mat. Eyes closing down. Another name for this pose is integration pose, and I think of it every time I'm in Shavasana. It's an opportunity to integrate everything you've just done before you head back out into the world. If you have time in your day, feel free to stay here for as long as you like. When you're ready, rolling over to one side. Allow your ear to rest on your shoulder. Moving slowly. And pressing up. Finding a gentle, easy seat, cross-legged. Maybe lifting your hips above your knees to find a long spine and a bright crown. Bringing that same mudra through our heart space, settling down the eyes once more. Inviting some curiosity about this experience. About your experience. What's shifted? What's more spacious than it was when we started? One more round of breath. Inhale through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. Blinking your eyes open, thank you so much for joining me today. This was a lot of fun. I hope that you foster and cultivate a sense of curiosity with you out into the world today and for the rest of your days. Be well. Thank you.